That's good. And then you can do the whole thing with Tom. Get there and you just kind of see what seems best. You know what you got.
Okay, to prove I didn't move my camera, I put this little piece in here that I recorded on my cell phone. Also showing you my B700 Nikon Coolpix. Sitting right on the seawall, and I got footage from there too. That's 18 inches above the water, where my camera is down below the seawall, and it's about 6 inches higher than the red camera, the B700. All right, so again, I should not be seeing the horizon out as far as I do. Because it should be cut off at a lot less of a distance. So consider that.
Beautiful day.
Flying into the sunset. Yeah. Well, it looks like he's having a good one. And how much snow is there? Well, Alice said they had snow in
Drone. Sound like a big bee.
All right, here's where it starts getting interesting to me because the sun starts changing its shape. Yeah, I mean, this is how what I think of it. I think of it as a disc, and as this disc is it's a projected disc being projected on a dome or a curved surface. Um, and when it gets to that edge, it starts turning on a different angle. It starts leaning away from you more and more, and that's why we get this funny shape, this oblong shape. And you know, when it gets to the edge of the water, and again, I'm going to contend that that's water that you're seeing in the horizon, it just starts to uh, dip away from you on an angle. It is a disc, and it's a projected disc that you know, you can say the creator created for us, and science has taken it way beyond the way we should be looking at it. They want to confuse us. They want to manipulate our way of thinking, and they again do not want you to go out and think for yourself and do your own observations and you know, try to figure this out for yourself. Again, if you look out there and you see the bird rack, I did a video last year where I used the virtual horizon, and I was showing that on a level, the horizon is well above that due to perspective. As that object is out further, it is going to be smaller. So our horizon is actually going to rise to the eye level. And this is more or less eye level to me, where most people think it's at that visible water line on a bad day of visibility. And I can show you with one picture or with one little short video how even the atmosphere, if you want to call it the atmosphere, gets illuminated and can act as a blind, a block, and block your vision, block your sight from seeing any further than whatever distance that is. And that's what I like to show. Now, I'm not saying that I'm 100% totally correct as far as this the sun is, but this is the way I see it. Now, others may disagree, which I'm sure most Globers will be disagreeing with me and say, look, you can obviously see the sun getting cut off by the horizon. Yes, but also, do you realize that it's not actually, I mean, you can see that it changed shapes as it got to that edge. So it's really not going down below. It is just receding on that angular resolution. And one of the ways we can tell this is at the end of the video, or when this light vanishes from our view, how much this horizon is still lit up. What is lighting up that horizon if, you know, the sun vanishes? There shouldn't be no light out there on that horizon as bright as it is. I mean, you don't see a major drop in the lighting. The lighting stays the same. So what I'm contending is that that light is just receding and it goes beyond our visibility. And what you're seeing right here is just stretched out light. It's like a flashlight, how its light flares out as it spreads out into the distance. You know, you don't just get a laser beam light, you get a spread out light. So that's what this light is doing. And I could put a dot at the top of this or right in the center of this and say that that is the sun receding away, and it's just lighting up more of that horizon or that water that's out in front of us. So again, you know, judge for yourself. I don't want to ever tell anybody to take my word or believe me. Again, I think it's best for all of us to go out and do our own observations and then think for ourselves and decide for ourselves, because we are our own people. We are us. We use our own minds, and that's what we got to contend with. Again, all I can do is present my observations that show me basically that what we're told by science is not actually what we observe. And when we go out and do our own observations, we start observing things that shouldn't be possible. But, you know, they'll use the excuse that refraction is pulling everything up from behind this curve. But, you know, I have never really seen any practical person show, you know, say take a basketball and put something on the back side of it just behind its curve. And, you know, you can sit there for 24 hours a day, slap any kind of light you want on it, heat. You know, the only thing that I've seen done, like I said in one of my other videos, is I've seen somebody use butane. Well, butane is not what's out across the top of the water. So that's a trick that, you know, people will make. Now, you watch this boat, you actually not only see the wake, but you actually can see the exhaust of the boat, the smoke coming up. Now, how could you see that wake? That boat, again, is well beyond 3 miles, and my horizon should be cut off way before that. So that boat, I should only have seen the tip top of that boat. I shouldn't even see that whole bird rack at 2 feet. But there it is. And, you know, I've tried that with with trying to pull something up from behind the curve, and just absolutely could not do it. And you know, anybody in their right mind can go out there and do the observations that I'm doing. You know, maybe you don't have the camera, but if you can afford one, get one and do some of your own observations, because, you know, again, when you do these, you really start questioning them, because you see all these different effects out over the water. And I live in Florida, and in Florida we have high humidity, and it can cause distortion on some days. Other days you get good visibility. I can see the boats clearly in the water, but you don't see the farther back horizon. And that's why I said I've got a video where the atmosphere is lit up. Even though you can see the boats, you can't see the water beyond a certain point, because it's like slamming a lid down out in front of you. And that water is just extending and extending. That's why these boats, sometimes you see them, they get smaller and smaller on a little thin layer of water, or on this little thin piece of what we think is water, or what is water, but we think that's the horizon, but the horizon keeps going and going and going. And that's why these boats get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I've put plenty of observations out that show these boats getting smaller. A lot of them are from Bayport. I started going to this place called Pine Island, basically because I wanted a different view. I wanted different angles, and I wanted to see things from a different perspective myself. So Pine Island is located about 2 miles north of Bayport. It does extend out a little bit further into the Gulf. That's why I get the better view of the Hernando Beach Islands. At Bayport, I can only catch some of the rocks out in front of it on a very low tide. But again, how can I even catch those rocks when I'm at a low perspective, when them rocks are just barely sticking up out of the water? And in some of my videos that I put out from Hernando Beach Island, you can literally see those rocks that are sticking out there. And they don't stick up very high at all because they're not an island. They're just some rocks that are sitting out there that they dredged up when they built the channel. Again, you know, you watch in the background and the next part, and you'll start seeing some of the boats that are further back there. You'll actually see some of the signs and some of the other bird racks that are out there. And I'm actually discovering I can see other bird racks that are even further out that I didn't think I could actually see. And I have to redo my angles because from this direction I am kind of confused on my bird racks. All right, have a good day, and thanks for watching.